What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Pulse. Today we're diving into some crucial stuff, how to kickstart your life on your own terms and set yourself up for success. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of building new routines, getting your act together, and making a game plan for daily life. So let's jump right into that chat, shall we? What are your thoughts on building new routines?
Making new routines, I think, can be difficult. It's not what you'd always been doing, and you don't know if it's what's going to be best for you. Yeah.
Yep. Kayla, you just moved into a new place. Have you established any new routines?
Well, I mean, most of my routine the last few weeks has been getting up and unpacking, and I spend most of my day unpacking. It's definitely going to be different, I think. It's a very different space. Before I had so I would clean certain rooms on certain days, and it kind of had to do like how the space I was in flowed into each other, and so the space flows very differently. So that's definitely going to have to change once all the unpacking is done. Yeah, I'm not really I can definitely feel like things are going to change, but I'm not sure exactly how yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can definitely be difficult building new routines too, especially like when you're moving. Like there's definitely unfortunately, some personal care things that I've been neglecting because I've been so hyper focused on unpacking that I forget to do things that I really should be doing. That's been difficult because right now my routine is unpacking, but trying to balance that with the other things and knowing that it's going to change again as soon as everything is unpacked is a very difficult process.
Yeah, well, and it makes sense too. If like some of your stuff's still packed that you need for a routine that you wouldn't have access to it, you wouldn't be part of your normal routine yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you guys find that it's easier for you to keep a routine if you've written it down?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Sure.
I have. Then I think I write them down in my phone, but then I think I forget about them. I think if I had like a routine thing like on my wall in my room or like in the bathroom, that could help.
Yeah.
I have this really great weekly calendar that's magnetic, so it just sticks to my fridge. And each day has like its own little column with a bunch of little lines.
Mhm.
And so at the top, I kind of write in like irregular things that I need to get done that day of the week. And then down the bottom, I have like things that are going to happen at like specific times, and I can space them out depending on what time of day they're happening in case something comes up that I need to kind of stick into the middle.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good
Um,
point too, because I think of routines and I think, okay, a morning routine or daily routine. But you don't think about stuff like the monthly routine. Often does garbage need to be taken out? There are longer routines, and then there's task routines, like your shower routine, right? So there's like, I'm glad you brought that up because there's so many different ways you can routine out your life. And definitely writing it down is a big one. Another important thing that we should be talking about is organizing your space when you move out. Like you gotta buy shelving. You gotta figure out like, do I hang my clothes? Do I buy a dresser? Like, what am I thinking about here? What have you found to be sort of a challenge, or have there been any challenges for you in terms of organizing your new space?
yes, there's some shelving units I had to leave behind because they wouldn't really fit in the new space. And I had to figure out like new shelving units that would fit better in the space that I have. I have what I call my nerd village. It's got like all of like my sci-fi and my Harry Potter and all of those kind of collectibles that I make it into a little display. It used to be on top of this big shelf that I have, and now I have it on like a skinnier shelf on like several different levels. And I found that because I also have 2 kittens, I now need to go find like glass doors for that shelf. When they jump up on like a middle shelf, they just knock things over because it's full. And couldn't really fit a TV stand, like a floor TV stand for gaming systems and stuff. So I had to figure out a workaround for that. And yeah, so there's been a couple of different interesting dilemmas with trying to figure out the space, setting up the space.
That's even like and that's the whole house too, right? Like even your fridge, you have to think about how you're going to organize your fridge in a way that makes sense. And that might sound really silly, but it's so true. An organized fridge. Oh, so super
It makes
helpful.
life so much easier.
Also makes it easier to plan things like buying more groceries, knowing what's already in the house makes it a lot easier to determine, what else needs to come in. And that really helps with
Yeah.
planning too, which is another important thing about starting out into a new place is making sure you know how to plan things like groceries and paying your bills on time. Like that's a big deal. Paying rent on time is a big deal. You have to do it. So like it's helpful to have, an organized routine, and an organized space and an organization system for making sure that you taken care of all your planning needs. You're ready to cook the groceries that you're going to bring home because you have already planned out when I make a meal I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to do the dishes and put them away. And then when I'm ready to go get groceries, dishes are away. All I have to do is look in the cupboards in the fridge and see what's in there. What do I need? We can make our lives so much easier. It's just a little bit of organization and planning and some thoughtfulness. But being thoughtful means you have to check in on this stuff every day. So like I have a budget that I'm pretty obsessed with because I, I'm a single person in Toronto, so make it rain, I do not. So I am trying to make sure that my future is stable. So I have a budget that I have on my computer on Excel, and I'm pretty obsessive about it. And every time I think about finances, if I get a little bit stressed out, I can come right back to that file and have a look at it and go, okay, here's what I'm working with. That helps me. So, if I didn't have an organizational system for that or a routine of checking my banking every day to make sure that I'm on track, then, life could be a lot trickier than it needs to be. That does it for this week's episode of The Pulse. Thanks for joining us. As always, if you have comments, questions, or ideas for topics you'd like us to discuss, send an email to voa@pacificautismfamily.com. In the meantime, as we're getting ready to kick off our speaker series for 2023, check that out on our YouTube page and our website, voicesofautism.com. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.